Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We're about to react to this guy right here, Suli McCullough. I think that's his name. And he's done some comedy in the TV before, some shows he was working on. I remember his face really strongly, so now he's on Hype, Comedy Hype. Oh, this is really Hype Plus. They got 1 million subscribers at this point. So we're going to listen to him talk about comedy and see what he got to say. If he's conversationally funny, see if we can learn something from him. Like and subscribe. I'm your boy Yusef Hood. You're watching Conversationally Funny. So let's get to it. Welcome to the show.
That only from a reason of seeing you on camera, it's been used as like some of your punchlines. How has, and if you want to be specific, like how tall, what, like, have you always been kind of like the smaller guy?
I've always been this size, maybe smaller. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've always been little, and so the funny thing is like, I don't think of myself as small until I look around and see, oh, there's people way bigger than you. You know what I mean? So I think I have a big heart, and I move like a dude that's bigger than he is, just in relation to the rest of the world. I'm a little dude. And so I think that one of the first rules of comedy is you have to talk about the real. You know what I mean? Like, you have to approach it from a very real place. And if you don't do that, then you're not doing the thing. You know what I mean? So it would be weird for me to not acknowledge my size at all. You know what I mean? Like, it just wouldn't make sense. It's like
psyche a little bit.
Yes. Like,
So what y'all think about that? Because I think Kevin Hart does that too, where he acknowledges his height, the fact that he's not that tall and all that. He don't let that stop him. But it's something that he speaks about, so it don't be like a hindrance. So somebody be like, get your short ass off the stage. He like, hey, I can't sleep now. Somebody called me a midget. Somebody called me short. It's like, that's a part of it. You know what I mean? So if, you have to play into what people actually are saying, and then you just make it funny. Because that's really what you're really trying to do, is just make everything funny. So it really don't matter about what somebody say or how they feel. Because no matter what happened, you're going to try to make it funny. And I think that that's what he said in this component.
And, all my life experiences are based on how people perceive me based on my size. When we were going to clubs back in the day, the bouncer would, stop me first. And it's like, hey, dude, how come you got your hand in my chest and not the dude your size? Like, he don't want to fight with the dude his size. He knows he can get away with doing that to me.
That's deep.
Yeah, that's kind of where
That's deep, because I'm not being so short in my life. I never thought about that. Like, the person keep trying to try a person that's short, and then the person, because my uncle was very short. Rest in peace, Uncle Dennis. But he would fight. He would get up in a person's face. He didn't care. He would get in your. He'd whoop your ass if you had to. And he come around all the time, broken hand, broken wrist. Like, what happened? He was in the fight. And so you understood that he had that short situation where people would kind of bother him, you know what I'm saying, or get in his face or think he couldn't defend himself or test him or whatever the situation was. So I could understand that.
I wanted to kind of walk through like the misconceptions, because one is a level of, people think that, okay, I can kind of punk this guy around.
Right.
Then there's the reality of, this is a black man who, as we'll find out, has a family and children, that is a protector, a provider. So,
but not only that, dude, I'm the oldest of 7. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the oldest, and when you're the oldest, you got to look out for everybody under you. You know what I mean? Like, I was the cheap babysitter. You know what I mean? And the caretaker, and the, like, in some cases, I was the leader. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's really funny. Like, on Jamie Foxx, like, I played a dude named Mouse. You know what I mean? And when I see people and people see me, they go, Mouse? Like, is it okay if I call you that? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you know me. And I think that with that character specifically, I think that character resonates with people. People actually feel a connection to that dude because they understand what that is. You know what his obstacles are. You know what I mean? Like, he's a little dude trying to make people realize he's bigger than he is. Like, that's a natural conflict that we all get.
Yeah, that's deep that he said that too, because that's true. You know what I'm saying? We all go through that way of trying to fit in with groups or trying to fit in with people, and then that flaw that you have or people have contributed to thinking that you do have you might not be able to tap into that gift of yourself. But that's what comedy is freeing. It's no matter what you do, you can use comedy. You've even heard of people who be in prison and they say, I make everybody laugh. I make them all laugh like that. See, me specifically, my father was voted best comic in high school, like best comedian. Well, he called it best. He called it most humorous. That's what my father said. He was voted most humorous, and my son was voted in high school best dressed. So you know, I was just in high school as best mess. So nobody, I wasn't voted nothing like that. So I just remember like being a kid and you get ready to get a whooping from my father and he finna tear your ass up and you just be out there like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? And then it's like he'll come and explain to you what you did wrong, but how he explained it to you, he would be acting as if he's you. So he would be like, you took that bottle of water and you drink it like this. You sit back like, I didn't drink it like that, but you laughing because of his demonstration, exaggeration of you. And then I always say it was to be the worst mental issue ever because after you laugh so hard and then you got to cry from getting your ass beat. And I used to be like, that is the biggest mental fucking every time. Like, kid, just whoop my ass. Like, don't give me this 35-minute, 40-minute conversation about what I did so I don't be laughing and thinking like, oh, I just laughed at 42 jokes. I'm straight now. No. God, you like, what the fuck? So it was funny how you went through that definite dichotomy. Oh, I gotta cut this out on.
Character more because it is one of those classic characters. You were in 25 episodes as a character of the Jamie Foxx show. However, in my mind, it made me feel like he was like right there, part of the cast, like anyone else.
That's I mean, that's the beautiful thing about that show and that experience. Like I did one episode season 3 where I played a different character, right? And so I did that and I thought, oh, okay, cool. I guest starred on the Jamie Foxx show. You know, Jamie and I were friends. We met in the comedy clubs back when we were both first starting. I think he saw Don't Be a Menace and, you know, liked what I did with Crazy Legs. And so, you know, I don't even think I auditioned for that guest star part. I think it was just offered to me.
Hey, if y'all ever see Don't Be a Menace, his role in Crazy Legs, to do it in a wheelchair was so dynamic. See, this is what I'm saying about guys like him. Even with Mouse and even with the Crazy Legs from Don't Be a Menace, they bring a unique thing in comedy, and you know it exists in the hood. It's not like you think about those people, but you know that guy is right there. If you ride down everybody know him, and it's like the wheelchair dude, and not just the wheelchair dude, or not just Mouse, but the specific people that he played. You like, no, it's a nigga who just act just like that. He in a wheelchair, he say the exact same shit, and this is the part where you know comedy with these particular comedians are very real and they're very funny.
Right? So I came in, I knocked it out, and I was like, okay, cool. I did an episode of the Jamie Foxx show. Season 4, they brought myself, Chris Spencer, Alex Thomas on because they wanted to give Jamie friends, and we all worked at Jingles 2000. And, you know, Chris and I went to college together. Alex and I knew each other from the clubs. My ex managed Alex. So we were family, you know what I mean? So I think that when the three of us, you know, first appeared on that show, we got 20 years of history, you know what I mean? From being in the clubs, making each other laugh after shows, like, so we had this, we were already up and running. So everything felt very familiar and we were still hungry, you know what I mean?
So since we're here, who came up with Mouse? Like, did you decide to just lean into it when we talk about stature and size and say?
Well, you know, like that part was offered to me, and you know, like I'm an actor. I'm gonna, you know, I go, okay, this is what you're playing. Find a way to really play it. You know, I'm gonna use real parts of myself, but I love that character because that character is more naive than I am in real life, so I can play that naiveness, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like that character worked on that show because Jamie's super cool, you know what I mean? Like, Jamie's this fully formed dude that it's the Jamie Foxx show, and he's Jamie Foxx. You know what I mean? Mouse is a dude that wants to be like Jamie Foxx on his best day, but that's never going to happen. You know what I mean? So it was fun to play that. Like, I was playing a dude that so looked up to Jamie that he's trying to, I didn't even know how to date on that show. You know what I mean? Like, so there was so much fun.
I like all that stuff that he said, because the show was really monumental as far as Jamie Foxx leaving in Living Color and being such an impact on the Living Color. We were being real fans of Jamie, and then he finally got his own show, and he was doing this show, and it was how funny with him his own show, and he brought all the comedians on there and gave him a real push in Hollywood. You see, Jamie was able to continue to keep going, but like you said, after the 100 episodes, they kind of bump you out of Hollywood, don't really give you a lot more chances. And it's like, damn, man, whatever happened, man? If he could have ever did more work, it's like, damn, this dude was funny to me, man. But there's a lot of guys like that they just disappear. That's why I'm watching it, because I'm like, what happened to this dude? He was funny as hell. Interesting.
It wasn't one of my first roles. Like, I guest starred on, a bunch of other shows prior to that. I guest starred on Married with Children. That was one of my first guest starring roles. I played this dude on Married with Children who worked at this record store called Final Vinyl. And all you had to do was walk into the store and hum a song, and my character knew exactly what it was. So Al Bundy came into the store because he couldn't get this song out of his head and hummed it, and I knew exactly what it was. So that was one of my first roles. Prior to the Jamie Foxx show, I was in What's Love Got to Do with It. I played one of the kids. I played Craig Turner in that.
He was working.
That wasn't a comedy. That was a drama.
He was working.
And I think I only had a couple lines in the movie.
The reason why with your Jamie Foxx co-star, Christopher B. Duncan,
yes,
who in a previous clip, a part of our conversation, mentioned the hurt he felt when it came to the industry and how they saw him, meaning they only saw him as Braxton when he goes to auditions.
Yes.
Do you have any similar trajectory?
Well, he's I think Christopher B. Duncan is a great example of a trained actor that was so good at that role, that's all you saw him as. You know what I mean? I think my character in relation to the Jamie Foxx show, I came on board later, and I think I didn't want to be so much of a character that happened to me, and I really tried to play the nuances of that character so he felt more real. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I think Christopher B. Duncan is an amazing actor.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it was so cool to be able to hop on a show that already had its legs and then just add to it.
Right.
But I was mindful of that. I think every job you get in Hollywood, you want it to lead to other opportunities. That's a lot of what the business is about that a lot of people won't tell you. You know what I mean? You're getting a chance to step up to the plate, and you want to hit a grand slam, so it leads to other times that you can step up to the plate.
Got you. So in conclusion with that particular role, are there any regrets, or do you think if people calling you Mouse in person to this day, it's not an issue?
No, I don't feel bad about that at all. I don't feel bad about that at all.
Cool. See, this dude, it show you that Hollywood didn't destroy him. Hollywood didn't break him down. And the fact that he telling everybody the game, look, when you get in Hollywood, it's basically this job is going to lead to more jobs. Just like a lot of times. Basically any job. If you're a plumber and you fix somebody's sink, then you're expecting if somebody else needs a sink fixed, they're going to call you and say, hey, my auntie need can you come through? It's going to lead to another job. So it's like anything else. In basketball, you're on a team, you got to shoot the shot in there. So somebody will say, hey, you leaving over there? You want to come over here? So it's the same thing. And but in reality, I don't think it destroyed him. Even if he's not in Hollywood no more, he moved on, do something else with his life. I think that he was able to still function and have the understanding that this is the job. And like he said, I'm not gonna put too much into this character because I don't want to be people just looking at me like only like this. But he said he was on the show, came in later. The other guy, Duncan, Chris, he actually was a character who started the show. He was on that with Jamie Foxx when it first came on. So that's why people was like, no, that's just you. I love you as that guy. Well, then give him a movie. That's what they should have did. He should have made his own movie with Tubi and all these things. But I think they'd be so fine-tuned as actors, they want somebody to direct them. They're not the Tyler Perrys or the me, where they could just produce their own products and stuff like that. Matter of fact, my movie is on Tubi. It's called Kill a Rapper. I also have a movie company called Hood Films. Check me out. So let me watch the last part of this dude talking.
Well, if you work in this business, you understand the business part of it. And unfortunately, with black shows, once they get those 100 episodes, they're like, cool, we can sell it into syndication and we're done. Like, it's not a situation like Friends or something where they've got this train that they want to continue to keep investing in. So that was unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like, we had a great rhythm. Like, we were really like cooking. You know what I mean? Like, and there was so much good that came from that show. Like, Sherry Shepherd played my girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, look at where she is now. Garcelle is fancy. Look at where she is now. Christopher B. Duncan, Chris Spencer, Alex Thomas, everybody on that show. Garrett Morris, Garrett Morris.
Smith was on there too.
Yes, exactly. There was so much good, and we had, we were, like, I'll tell you this about the show. When I first got hired, I knew that show was going to be around forever because I knew what Jamie's talent level was. I knew where he was going in the business. So every time, every episode, I was like, we're making legendary TV.
That's a fact. He hit that on the bump because he wanted y'all to watch the whole shit. But that was really a dope interview with that guy. He broke it down. I thought I was gonna watch a little piece of his interview, but we watched all of it, and it was a good one because I remember him from the show. He disappeared because you got to have a lot more people hiring you and grabbing you in order to continue to trajectorize yourself in the industry, if that's even a word. So thank y'all for watching this video. We're gonna be reacting to some more comedy and some more conversations, and we're gonna learn some stuff about comedy. And we shall be back. We shall be back. All right, peace.